Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 44 of the Showbound podcast. I'm your host, Michael Raskin, here alongside San Jose Sharks prospect Ethan Cardwell. How you doing, man? Yeah.
Doing pretty good actually. So I'm leaving to head to San Jose at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So it's going to be an early wake up call. Currently in a bit of a blender. Just got off the Peloton. Hadn't used it in a while, so the legs are a little bit sore. But yeah, no, I'm excited. Just looking forward to getting this California going, and excited for the rookie tournament in Arizona as well. So that should be exciting. And I know you got some Brock hockey starting tomorrow. So you want to tell me what's going on there?
Yeah, let's talk about more San Jose. That's more what people want to hear than the Bronx stuff. But I'm pumped to watch these games in Arizona, man. I have already looked into like finding the stream and stuff. I'll have to give that a repost. But that's gonna be sick seeing you in a actual Sharks jersey, uniform, all that stuff. With the guest on the show today, Ben Gaudreau. We'll mention him, third round pick of the San Jose Sharks, Sarnia Sting in the OHL, and gold medalist for Team Canada at the U18. So we'll get him on in a bit to you guys. But um, yeah, I'm pumped to see you in San Jose, and I did say in the interview that you're gonna make the team this year and get me season tickets. So that's kind of nice of you, man.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to put on a different level of display of hockey than I've ever had before if I'm gonna pull that one off. But no, I'm just excited to be able to get out there and see like the big dogs in action, like see how good these guys really are, and like it's gonna be exciting back to San Jose. Like the NHL treatment, like I said before, it's NHL. It's the National League for a reason. So
Yeah.
that's like the best part. And it's just another opportunity for you to go down there and learn so much, because like just coming back from the first development camp, and it was only like whatever 5-6 days, and I learned so much. So going there for 2 weeks now, right before the start of the OHL, it gives you that opportunity to kind of learn so many things um, in such a short period of time that you're going to take home with you to a younger league where it's going to make such a difference in your game, So like that's the most part that I'm looking forward to. And then just being able to see the guys that I met all at dev camp and kind of keep building relationships down there.
Can I set a goal for you, Cards, for the camp?
Yeah, give me one.
I want you to play a preseason game. That's your goal. Like, be the best player at this prospects camp and earn yourself a preseason game.
I'd love to. My flight right now is booked for the first preseason game day. So I'm in tough for that, but you never know. I guess if I start playing really well, maybe I can get that flight pushed back. But yeah, no, that's a great goal. And I mean, like, that's kind of like the mindset you have to have going into these things. You have to be like, okay, I'm here to prove myself and I want to do that. And obviously that's something every player kind of thinks of, and it is something we'll look forward to. And I know my buddy Clarky there, he's going to be at the tournament, and he's already going to be in these preseason games in the end of September and early October. But no, that would be something that would be so cool. And I mean, yeah, it all starts with just playing well. So, I mean,
Yeah. It's gonna be sick, man. I'm pumped. I can't wait for this prospects tournament. Anyway, yeah, like you were saying, we don't need to get too much into it, but the Brock stuff, just first week of training camp is now. We're recording. It's Monday night. Tuesday morning is the first day of training camp for the Brock team. So I'm just pumped to get out there and get things going. And yeah, we don't need to get too much into it. Like, it's not that big a deal, but I'll be busy and things are gonna be ramping up. And um, I'm just pumped to get things going. And we got a good team. So man, like, my goal, I've said this all summer long. My goal is we're gonna win the national championship this year. And I say this because, like, on paper, and I can admit this, and we know it, we're not the team on paper that can beat these like big dogs like UNB and stuff. But because of the COVID season, it's like single game elimination in the playoffs. They're shortening the games. And if there's ever a team that can win one game, it's us, man. Like, we can win one game. So we're gonna win the national championship. That's, I'm convinced. And anyway,
Miracle on Ice 1980, but 2021 with the Brock Badgers, one game. Here it is versus the
oh yeah.
Russians.
Yeah, I'll be giving the speech. Um, but yeah, no. So anyway, just pumped to get things going, and then yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think what else. Oh, actually, this week, if we want to talk a little non-hockey stuff, one of my friends in my friend group, not to give it away for people who know me, went through like a tough breakup this week, and he had been dating his girlfriend for a long time, and I guess no one in our friend group has like been through this in a couple years, and it was very unexpected. So we're all having a big last couple days of summer together because he's moving off. He plays hockey down in the States and stuff. So we're all leaving each other, and we're
Yeah,
having a big.
Don't give it away, bud.
Well, anyway, it's been funny. I mean, not to sound like a dick, but we're all just like rallying around and getting the boys together every night, and having the last couple like summer drinking events and like having a good time. So as bad as it is for him, it's been fun to get all the boys together and kind of try to make everybody feel good. So that's been going on in my life this week.
Actually, another thing I wanted to mention before we sent it to the interview itself is, so I'm playing in Kitchener the other night. So, but like,
I was gonna ask you about this.
Yeah, no, the one you were gonna ask me about was the first game, but I had a incident in the second game I wanted to tell you about. So I'm in Kitchener, and there's this kid yipping me. I have no clue who he is. Like I haven't seen him or whatever. So I'm like, who is this guy? Like he's yelling at me. He's like chirp me, and then like so I hit him good. Like I had a nice open ice.
Was that the one in front of the net?
Yeah, that was the one on Twitter. Yeah, so I hit. He stands up. He looks at me and goes, "Who are you?" I'm like, buddy, what are you like? Okay, I don't even bother. Like I'm just like, okay, I'm done with this. Like I can't even stand this. So then he keeps yipping me all game, and he's like, "Sick podcast," and I'm like, "You don't know who I am, but you know I have a podcast." I'm like, yeah, that adds up well. Like, and then I look online and it's just, it was an 05, like first game ever or whatever. And I guess maybe just trying to make the team or something to prove a point. I don't know what was going on, but I was a bit confused when he was trying to chirp me about who I was. And then, and then he goes, yeah, podcast. He starts talking about the draft and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you don't know who I am. That makes a lot of sense right now.
That's so funny, man. I'm so pumped, and I bet the listeners are to get these stories again going once the season starts, because we're gonna have so much more of this. Like an inside look. The listeners haven't really gotten this out of us because there hasn't been a season. I mean, you're gonna we'll get the inside scoops in the OHL, what's going on once you're back. So that'll be fun. But what about the game in Owen Sound? I heard you got in a fight, and we said, when I started texting you about it, I was like, let's save it for the pod, and I almost forgot to ask you, like, what happened?
Yeah, basically, like anyone who knows me, like I like to get in there and start some things up all the time. Like I stir the pot a little bit. So like it was like the first exhibition game, and so many guys hadn't played in like a year and a half. So like I think everyone was just so like excited to play. So everyone was like being rough, and I'm like, holy, like it's a Monday night here, and guys are like trying to break each other's heads and stuff. And Owen Sound came out running us and stuff, and we started running them, and it was a pretty rowdy game. So like there was like 2 seconds left in the first, and I tried to run a guy. I hit him pretty good, and then I got the puck and jammed it. Like I jammed the goalie from the side of the net with it, and then I kind of like fell into the ice ball. I was jamming, like just trying to push pressure, put puck on the net, and the guy kind of like whacked me on his way by. So then our guy takes him into the corner, has a little scuffle. I just stand up, and like me being like kind of the rat I am sometimes on the ice, I just see some guy going by, I sucker him in the face. so I just punch him in the face. And then Allenson has another guy, and they start fighting, like full on fist. Like they both they got kicked out of the game. And me and this guy start wrestling. My glove comes off, like we're going. And then it was just like the refs were jumping in because like it's a preseason game. Like you're out of the game if you're suspended. So like, or if you fight. So like, I think we were just like, the refs were just trying to save everyone from fighting. But like, sure enough, I have a little tussle there. Next thing you know, coach comes in. He's like, "Okay, you got 2 minutes." I'm like, "All right, perfect, whatever." Like 2 minutes out of the box, I'll be out of the box. I'll be buzzing around again. Next thing you know, I get over there. They go, "Yeah, Cards." One of the refs pulls me over. I forget who it was, but he goes, "Yeah, Cards. You got 12 minutes." I'm like, "What, man? Like, I'm not trying to sit in the box this whole game. Like, let's go. Like, it's not at 12." And they're like, "Yeah, 12 minutes preseason. We got to set the tone."
Was it the glove? Like the glove off?
No, I don't even know what it was. I got a misconduct. It was like a roughing misconduct.
Had to be sucky to the head. That's head contact. Preseason 10 minutes.
Yeah,
could be.
I don't even know. I don't know what it was, but it was annoying because I ended up playing like 10, 12 minutes in that game.
Only like, 2 tucks in those 10 minutes, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention that.
I got you, Ed. That's what I'm here for. But I was just like, man, you don't even like fight you're in the mix, but you're not fighting really in the regular season. Like, why are you fighting in the preseason? I was so confused. But that's hilarious. And now, you know what? I can just picture you, you can do your thing a bit and you have that respect in the league. I mean, people are gonna get it. Like the first years might not be talking to you as much. Like you're kind of now you have that respect factor where, I mean, you know what I mean? Like you might not
Yeah, like
get it from those kids.
before, like when I was like, because I was only a second year guy, I didn't even play the full season in my first year, so it was like I didn't really like get all the respect until like I went to Barrie and I started playing well. Then I got a little bit more. But I was in like SAG. Like I obviously like have a ton of connections in the L, so like I have a ton of friends. But like other than that, like guys would try to yerp me and stuff, and I'm always running my mouth
Yeah.
as you saw it. So like I wouldn't really care. But now it's like the fact where guys know, like even an older guy will just come up to me and like we'll just talk. Like or he's not coming up to me to chirp me or try to intimidate me. It's like it's more or less just like, hey, how was the 18 months off? You know?
Love the pod, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm pumped. Anyway, we'll I guess we want to flip it over to the interview here. Anything to say? Anything else we want to talk about?
No, I think that's about it for this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think okay. Now we'll send it over to Ben Gaudreau.
All right. This week on the pod, we got Ben Gaudreau. Welcome to the pod, dudes. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, buddy. And for the people who don't know, when this episode comes out, me and Goods are headed to the airport tomorrow morning to actually go to Sharks camp in the rookie tournament. So, are you got your flight at 8 again in Toronto tomorrow?
Uh, no, I think from Toronto. I think I'm kind of later because I think my flight from London is at like 11 something.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure, but yeah,
So you're gonna be there like at nighttime, I guess. Then, eh?
yeah, a little bit later.
Is QZ gonna be on your flight too? Then
I think so. Yeah.
I might be rocking it solo then tomorrow. I guess maybe cozy. I don't know though. But no, that's good. Excited to get rolling. But no, just wrapping up the summer. How's the end of summer been after training camp in Sarnia where you are?
It's been really good. Got a little bit of a break there after Dev Camp. Caught a Blue Jays game. Just tried to take like a week relax. Then went right down to Sarnia and kind of started up there. So I've been a little bit busy here. I mean, on the ice quite a bit and in the gym. So it's been good though.
Yeah, Sarn keeps popping up on my for you page on TikTok, and you're just littered all over it. So I might have to delete TikTok if that keeps up. But but how's it been, man? Like you're an older guy now, I guess, and like you're obviously a stud player in the league. So different role this year in Sarnia. How's that been for you?
Yeah, thanks. It's been good. You know what? We got a lot of young guys, so I think he's trying to kind of mentor them. My goalie partner this year's a rookie, so trying to kind of balance helping out him at the same time as finding my game. So I think the kind of the core group we had last year is really trying to get together and just help out the young guys and kind of see what we can do with the young guys. Kind of make them feel more comfortable at the rink.
Yeah, I mean the West is always a tough division, and it's going to be this year. You could be feasting on a goals against average this year, but because you don't play against me, so. But Rask, I know you got some San Jose stuff for him, right?
Yeah, I just think it's funny hearing like for both of you guys, but mostly for Benny, like talking about being a vet and like a leader in the locker room now. But I think what was it, like 28 games played you have in the league?
Yeah, literally 28 games.
Now you're a leader in the room, man. So, what a year it's gonna be. But yeah, I'm just curious about San Jose. Like, have they told you anything what they plan to do with you, kind of thing, being a higher pick?
I haven't gotten much from them. Yeah, I haven't heard too much about what their kind of plan is. They've asked me what my plan is, so I always kind of say quickest road to the show. But yeah, I mean, I haven't heard too much, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure Cardzy can talk to the same thing. Seems like a pretty good organization, and it was a lot of fun when we were there for Dev Camp. So I can't wait to kind of get back down there and see what kind of goes on this time around.
And Rask, he's a smart guy. Quickest stop on the Showbound podcast first, no?
Exactly.
Well, we always know good things happen to people who come on the podcast, cards. That's kind of the motto. But yeah, I'm actually curious talking about Cardzy. What was your first impression of Cardzy?
You know what? I don't even remember because I didn't really know him until like the Sharks camp there.
Mm-hmm.
but like just like one of the boys, like he's just so chill. Like that was the first thing, is that he wasn't like trying to big dog anyone. Like he was talking to all the guys.
That
Like
doesn't sound like him.
yeah, but no, he's a he's a good guy, and yeah, he's a lot of fun to hang out with every once in a while and see him around the rink. So works hard in practice when he wants to, I guess. But yeah.
Thanks, Goods. Heartfelt message from you there. So I want to take it back to like your early days of playing hockey, and like we don't have like a ton of goalies come on, or like when we do, we always ask them this question. So like, when did you start playing hockey, and when did you kind of realize you wanted to be a tender?
Yeah, so I started playing. I want to say I was like 3 or 4. I was pretty young when I started, and then I went to goalie at like 5. I didn't like going up and down the ice as a player, so I thought if I could just stay in that blue paint, make my job a little bit easier, and didn't really work out that way. I think I averaged like 40 shots against last year, so uh, probably made it harder on myself than skating up and down the ice. But no, I mean I switched pretty young and just wanted to stay with hockey, so wasn't really a fan of the whole player position, and that was the only option really left.
And you kind of grew up north, am I right? Yeah. Yeah. So you guys didn't like, you don't have a ton of exposure up there, as bad as it sounds, and like maybe less scouts come to see games, and you guys only have like 4 teams or whatever in your league, and sometimes it's like split age groups and stuff, and it's just you guys don't have as many opportunities as kids in the Toronto area have. So for you, when did you kind of realize, okay, like I'm really good at this hockey thing, like I can make a career out of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me the first time was really Team Ontario. I think that would have been like U15, so I would have been 14, 15 around there. I think 15, right before the draft year, anyways. But yeah, kind of made that team. I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll get drafted the O and everything will kind of go good, and I'll be able to kind of see how that works out. So I think that was kind of the first thing where I kind of thought, you know what, like I've got to be somewhat good. I mean, they're taking me for Ontario, so that's the majority of the OHL draft is Ontario. So felt pretty good about that. And then with the OHL draft, obviously that went really well for me, and that was something that kind of really helped me out and gave me a little bit of confidence moving forward with hockey.
Yeah, a little bit, eh? 7th overall.
Yeah, is that
This
good?
guy, man.
Actually, yeah, like Cardzy just mentioned it, 7th overall to Sarnia. I'm curious. I saw this. Is it true you didn't lose a game in your OHL draft year?
Yeah, we went well in season play. In season play, our team went 41-0. That was with playoffs included. I think in tournaments we lost like 3 or 4 games, and they were all to the Toronto Nats. Like that was the only team we lost to all year. It was brutal. Every tournament we get to the finals or the semis, we play them and we'd be done. But no, we had a really good Ontario right behind the Nats all year, so it was a lot of fun. I played up that year, so I was with the major midgets. My age group was pretty weak in North Bay, so kind of got out of there. I think my last 3 years of minor hockey and played the O2s, so it was a lot of fun playing with them, and we had a great team and some pretty good players. I think most of them are playing like junior A now or junior B at least, so it's pretty cool to see them too.
Yeah, and it's unusual a bit. You don't see the northern teams necessarily going on crazy runs like that. So that's pretty sick, and I didn't even know that. But I'm curious before I even talk a bit about Sarnia. I saw this one in the fan questions. Just with you being a goalie, can you just touch on maybe the mindset you have when maybe you give up a goal that's not so good or something like that, and you can't get hung up on that sort of thing, or it's going to make it worse for you. How do you handle those types of events during games?
Yeah, I mean, sure we'd always kind of crawl in a little hole and just run away from something like that. But I think for me, especially last year, I mean, got scored on quite a bit in Sarnia, so it was one of those years where I really had to learn how to kind of reset. So it took a little bit, but once I kind of learned to reset, just who cares? If you're gonna get scored on, literally every guy gets scored on. Who cares if it's a bad goal, a good goal, it went in the back of the net. Just forget about it and kind of just keep on going. Like I think last year was a pretty big year for me mentally, and just kind of allowed me to reset, refocus, like understand you're going to get scored on, it's going to happen. And I think for me, it was just kind of like having like your own little reset routine, like a little breathing technique for me, and it's resetting and kind of focusing back up on the game.
Okay, and then going back to Sarnia, I'm just curious on your OHL draft, 7th overall Sarnia, were you, really excited about that, or were you kind of hoping a northern team would take you, being from up there, so your family can come around? Like, how did that draft day go for you?
Yeah, I mean, we were actually at OHS because of the major midget age group. We were at OHS during that, so I was with all the boys and
In Clarington.
yeah, in Clarington, yeah, yep.
Hometown boys, here we go. No, a
And
bunch of my boys were playing in that again. They would have played against you for sure. Because I remember hearing, and McTavish was there too.
yeah, McTavish was there. I think who else? Jake Coleman. I forget where he's drafted, but
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's sick.
really good. But yeah, I mean, I think just being with the guys, it was a pretty good time, like pretty good experience to share with them. But I thought I was gonna drop a little bit longer. I thought I was kind of falling right around like Oshawa's pick at like 14, I believe, or 16. I think that's where I was told I was gonna go, so around there. So I think it was a little bit of a surprise for me. I didn't really know anything about Sarnia, to be completely honest. Like Cardzy said, I'm kind of from up north, so we don't really see those Western teams too many times. Yeah, so I didn't really know anything about them. And then one of my buddies, who's actually from North Bay, is a little bit older now. Played for Nipissing University up in North Bay, but he was actually drafted first round to Sarnia. So I talked to him quite a bit leading up to that, and I knew Sarnia's goalie. I think his last year was the year I got drafted, actually. So sorry, Husey. And he sent me all his mask designs and everything, and it was definitely a cool like little experience. But no, like I didn't expect it whatsoever. So it definitely was kind of a shock, but in a good way. Like it was awesome to kind of get drafted here, and once I got to meet the coaches and the organization and stuff like that, it was awesome. Just a bunch of great guys. So it's a lot of fun here.
Did you say Aiden Hughes?
Yeah.
Okay, he's on my team now here at Brock University. What can you warn me about this guy? What am I getting into here?
Josh, like he's just a great guy. He's hilarious. I think the best thing is that he's like 6'4", like
he's a big body.
Well, like just the nicest guy. Like he looks like looks like just this big intimidating guy. I think at the time I was like 13, 14 when I met him. And he would have been in his like third year of play with Sarnia, and like him and Jacob Ingham like drove me around, and I was hanging out with those two, so I was just intimidated the whole time, just sitting in the back of his car. But yeah, he's just a great guy. Like he's a lot of fun to hang out with, and got to know him quite a bit. Just from like I think I spent 2 weeks with him at a camp, and I got to know him pretty well. Like he's a pretty personable guy, so it was a lot of fun. I haven't seen him in a real long time. But yeah.
I was curious too. You were just talking about like a mask design. Can we talk to Sarnia and maybe get you some pads or something so you don't look like a bozo like you did in the preseason games there?
Harvey, you have no clue what's like.
Yeah, were you wearing the red pads? I think I saw that picture.
Yeah, it's disturbing. It is. It really is. Like it's like, oh, don't even get me started with the gear right now. It was the whole thing. So we finally got the stuff ordered. I think it's gonna be back when I get back from San Jose. It better be anyways, because if I have to start off the regular season in red gear, I'm just not gonna be that. Right now my glove too. I'm getting some gloves shipped to San Jose. Like I can't catch a puck right now. That it hurts so much. Like every time I make a glove save, if I don't get it in the netting, I just want to like throw my glove off and grab my hand. Like it's absurd right now. It's just
Cards, you know where to aim to score on him in practice now.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna just take clappers at his glove all day. But like I actually, you know what I'm looking forward to next week when we're playing in Arizona. I can't wait to see Goods in full bright red pads and have a teal good.
A highlighter in net.
White gloves. They're gonna be like completely white gloves.
Yeah, you're a mixed bag coming in. But let's get back to the OHL a little bit here. Like I want to know as a goalie specifically, like. And you're going into a team that maybe wasn't as defensively minded. You guys kind of wanted to score goals. What was your OHL adjustment like being on such a let's score goals type of team?
Yeah, I think for me, I kind of had to like understand that. It took me a little while to understand that. But once you kind of get like the thought process of you're not going to get too much help at the back end, like just go play your game, see what you can do, and just kind of use it as like motivation, like people are going to see you making all these saves and it's going to look good and all that. And that kind of really helped me out to just understand. And once I understood, I think that kind of helped me out. And I had to kind of grind games. Like there's some guys that can play like different technical ways and have like see guys back door and not think too much of them getting a puck back door. But there's a few times where if I saw somebody back door, I mean, I was backing off to make sure that pass wasn't going to beat me. So I think it kind of allowed me to use like a little bit more hockey IQ and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, definitely made me a little bit more cautious of guys kind of around the net, and I had to really work on that. But at the end of the day, I think it really helped me develop, and definitely like helped me out with making saves. I mean, like I said there earlier, I think we averaged like shots against, it was like 39.6 or something like that. So there's lots of rubber. My first game I got 50 shots.
Tell us about that game a little bit, because I remember everyone was losing it. They're like, "Oh my God, this guy's the best goalie ever," and I was like, "Who is this guy? He's just absolutely lighting it up." So you want to tell us about that a bit?
Yeah, no, that was last year was in Barrie. So my first game was in Barrie, and I was
that face. I was there, Cards. Actually, before you even say this, dudes, I remember just before the game, people. I think like, did you come in and halfway, or did you start it?
I started it. Yeah,
I remember when we saw the lineup card, everyone was like, "This is gonna be so easy." Like they're playing a guy who's never played. Like he's a schmelt. Like all this, and I remember being up in the press box and people were just like freaking out. I think I was with Zook. He was injured at the time, and he was just like
it's
freaking
out
out.
there. That was my first goal against, was Suzuki, and I think Forrester or Tucker came down on a 2-on-0.
Oh, that not decent
First goal.
players.
It was a little 2-on-0.
Yeah, that's tough.
But yeah, let's hear your side of it, because that was the Barry side of it. Like, what was going through your head?
No, it was I was like, the nerves were through the roof. I was like, it was crazy. I was like, I'm finally gonna play in the OHL. Here I come with my white helmet, brand new gear. Like, let's go make some saves here. Like, let's just do something. Going into that game though, we were 0-7. Like, we didn't have a win. So it was like all the guys were just like, they were good to me. They're just like, go in, go play your game. Like, whatever happens, happens. Like, at worst we go 0-8. Like, who really cares, kind of thing. So I was like, all right, like, sounds good. I'll just go play some hockey. Like, let's go have some fun here. Like, I was trying to fire myself up, but I was just so nervous. I couldn't even get fired up for it. And the puck finally dropped. And I mean, we got through the first period. I think the shots were like 19-6, or like, no, it was 22-6. It was 22-6. And I was like, all right, I'm holding my own. It's 1-0. We're getting outshot like quadruple. Like, this is fun. Like, I'm playing hockey again. Like, here we go. And then we got through the second. I think we were up after the second, like 3-1 or something, outshot. Like, at that point, I think it was already like 34 or something like that, or 35 to like 12-13. Like, we were getting just dummied again in shots. We ended up winning like 5-1. It went by like a blur. Like, I like look back on some of the film, and like, I made some like pretty key saves, which looked like, I felt like sick. I was watching the video like the next day with my like goalie coach. So I'm like, holy smokes, like, I did that. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, I don't remember doing that, but cool. But like I said, it went by like a blur. Like, just after the game, we went to like Moose Wisniewski's, I think it was called, and
Yeah,
we went, and the guys got the waiter to come pie me. So completely wrecked my suit. I had to and like dry clean the shirt, but something that I won't forget. It was a lot of fun, and the guys made it a lot of fun as well after the game.
That's pretty. That's awesome. And Rask, I know we were gonna ask for a funny story, but that's pretty good. I mean, the guy gets a pie in the face after just dominating the league, isn't it? First outing, especially at the BMC. Just like, no respect to the Colts for sure.
No,
but
come on.
It's probably just because I wasn't there, right?
Yeah, you would have done some damage, Cards, if he was there. But I remember even just, and then you went on the tear after. It was like the Ben Gaudreau show for the rest of the season. Like, every game you were playing sick. And I actually remember in that game there was an Anaheim Ducks scout sitting beside me in the press box being like, "Who's this goalie? Like, you know this goalie?" Like, oh, and I was just like, "This guy, I don't know. This guy's insane." Like, but yeah, that was crazy. But anyway, I want to get into like the COVID season where you didn't play, which was like last season for those who don't know, but it was also your draft year. Were you considering going overseas or anything? I know you were probably finishing up high school and stuff, right?
Yeah, so I was finishing up high school. Everything was online, so it wasn't too difficult to like deke out. I was gonna go to like Norway. I had like an option to go to Norway, but my passport expired. And before that, we were trying to get it like fixed, but the government just would not fix my passport for me, would not give me a new passport. So when it came to the passport was expired and I couldn't get across, so I didn't end up going. So I ended up just staying around North Bay basically. Drove down to Toronto almost every week to get ice there, but like North Bay, like we closed the rink like November, I think, and just didn't open it back up. And so I like didn't have ice in North Bay, so I was having to run down to Toronto every week. The goalie for North Bay, Joe Verbetic, and I got pretty close, so we were always together, and we worked out at my dad's work. We went down to Toronto every week together, so it was a lot of fun. But yeah, it was definitely a weird season. Like U18s helped me out so much with it being my draft year, because I was having draft interviews and these guys were like, "Are you going to Erie?" I'm like, "No, I'm not going to Erie. Like, my agent doesn't want me to do the 2 weeks of quarantine and all this." And then with U18s, I had that 2 weeks of quarantine, so that just didn't help the body whatsoever. Like trying to get back into it after doing 2 weeks of sitting on your butt was awful. But no, I mean it was a long year and a half or whatever it was, but it worked out. I mean, really let me kind of focus on myself and get in the gym quite a bit, and obviously put the kilometers on the car and get down to my goalie coach and work out the finer details. So I think it was something that I kind of needed. It was nice to kind of have it when I was a little bit younger. It would have been nice maybe a year ago too, when I wasn't trying to get drafted as high as possible, but it worked out at the end of the day.
Yeah, so that's like a question I wanted to ask, and we'll get into the U18s in a bit. But as far as the draft goes, you're essentially sitting there like before the U18s doing nothing, and you're watching all the other leagues play, and you're seeing goalies, maybe their ranks are going higher, falling, but everyone's getting action except you. How did that affect you mentally, and like how did you handle that? Just like were you checking rankings and seeing where your name is, and there's nothing you can do about it? Like how was that?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really like too into like the rankings. I didn't want to get too like stuck up on it. But being from a small town, anytime that there was like a ranking or something, there'd always be the paper calling to do some article on it. So I couldn't really hide away from the rankings too much. But I think going into last year, I would have been ranked the number 2 guy. And then with this year, with the WHL playing, Sebastian Cossa kind of passed me there. So like looking at that when I was sitting back at home, not even playing, I was getting a little bit choked about seeing that and seeing him go. And then with Wallstedt, I mean, I think this was the kind of the year where I was trying to pass him. So I was getting kind of fired up to be able to have that chance to pass him. And I thought, I'm going to have a big year. Like, I feel good. I feel really good. I feel good mentally. And then we just didn't have a year. So I think that was kind of like hard to kind of like take in. I was like, dang, I didn't get that chance to prove that I could be better than him. And even for World Juniors, I mean, I got like kind of like a little letter saying that I was being looked at for it, but it's like, what are you looking at me for? Like, looking at home, like, there's not much opportunity for me there. So I mean, again, like my agent was talking to me before the year, and he's like, just hit the ground with 2 feet running. Once you get in there, maybe you get an invite to U8 there to the World Junior camp and see how that goes. So obviously that didn't end up happening, but I think it was just kind of one of those years where you see a lot of stuff kind of happening for other people, and you just got to kind of stay positive and know that things are working out for you at the same time. So I think it was one of those years, and it was hard at some points, but I'm still here, so I got through it.
Yeah, you say Hockey Canada looking at you for World Jays. I mean, obviously you didn't get the call there, unfortunately, but you did get the call for the U18s, as we mentioned, and we've had a few guys on talked about what it was like to win and everything like that. But just from your point of view, like being a goalie on that team, what was the experience like overall for you? I know you mentioned the quarantine sucked and everything, but the actual tournament itself and first time playing in so long, how'd you feel in there and just the overall experience?
Personally, on the ice, I felt awful. I could not move, but it was a great experience. Like Hockey Canada did a really good job with us. They brought in some awesome coaches. It was a lot of fun to be with them, and the guys we had as well, they were awesome. Like it was just it was just an awesome kind of experience for us. I mean, winning it made it that much better. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was just like I said, like it's one of those things that almost went by so fast you couldn't even keep track with everything. Like it seemed like one day you were winning a game, the next day you were in a meeting, getting practice, and then hopping back on the ice for another game. So it went by really quick. Part probably my favorite hockey memory, though, to be completely honest. Like, it was just one of those ones where we went in with probably of our team, if maybe a little bit less than that, not even playing a game really, leading up to that, and then we went in and ended up winning it. So it was pretty awesome. A lot of good guys got together and came through, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I know Rask kind of mentioned like seeing an Anaheim scout at that game that you kind of lit up, and there's always been scouts at the buildings in the games that you played in the OHL, but then you go to the U18s and you kind of get your first taste of playing in front of huge crowds of scouts, as we all saw on TV and everything like that. So like, how was that from a pressure standpoint, and how excited were you to get the opportunity to showcase yourself for the first time in front of that amount of scouts?
Yeah, I think for me, I was a little bit nervous for the first game. Just I didn't know how I was going to play. I didn't know how I was going to feel in an actual game. I didn't really like lose my nerves until probably like semifinals ish. But I think just going into those games and having that many scouts there, I think I just tried to kind of focus on playing my game. Tried to forget they were kind of there and just focus on that puck. Didn't want to be one of those guys that kind of just pay attention to the scouts and didn't really focus on the game. I mean, at the start of the tournament, I was told I wasn't starter either. So I was pretty ticked off about that and just wanted to get back that starting position. So I think I was also kind of just focused on, I got to be starter. I got to be starter. Don't even worry about getting drafted right now. Just please be starter. I think that was where I was pretty caught up in just trying to be a starting goalie for the team. And I didn't want to lose that starting spot. So I think I just tried to put the scouts away and just focus on the hockey.
Yeah, so you did get the starting job, you win, and you end up getting drafted, like we've kind of alluded to. So you go to the San Jose Sharks, third round, right?
Yeah.
Can you just tell us about your draft day, the experience, and the moment you were picked, how it all went down?
Yeah. Long day, like really long day for me. There was even talk about me like maybe sneaking at the end of the first round. So I watched the entire first round the day before. Didn't see myself go. Then I was like, okay, like I gotta go early. Like my agent was telling me, he's like, you're gonna be going early in the like early tomorrow. Like it'll be over real quick for you. Just enjoy it. All this. So I start watching the draft. I start seeing like picks go. I'm like, okay, this is a team that's talked to me quite a bit. Here we go. No. So then I finally text my goalie coach. I'm like, hear anything yet? And he's like, yeah, you're gonna go, like, I forget where he said, but you're gonna go here. They're taking you with their second pick. They told me. And I was like, sick. Then my agent texted me like 2 minutes later. These guys are picking you with their second round pick. And I'm like, perfect. Here we go. Like, be going. So then both of those teams skip by. Nothing. I'm like, what the heck? Like, so I'm sitting here. I'm getting frustrated now. I got a bunch of people. My buddy, he goes, yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go to work. I thought you were gonna be drafted by now. I gotta go. So I'm like, sick. This is perfect. I'm just making people waste their day sitting in a basement or sitting upstairs. Like we had 2 TVs going, so we probably had like 30 people in my house, and we had like the adults upstairs and then all like the guys and stuff downstairs. So we're sitting there, and like the stress, like I probably smelled like the word, like I've been living in a sewer for like the past year. Like the stress sweat was just out of this world. Like I had like sweat dripping down like my sides. Like when I finally got drafted, I like just stood up and I was like, it's finally over. Like this was like the longest day. Like it was the biggest relief of all when I finally had my name called. So it ended up being an awesome day once I kind of sat back and looked at it. But during it, it was a really long day and a really stressful day, and I was happy it was over once it was.
Yeah.
Dude, hey Rask, you know what the worst thing is? Goods is like, yeah, like I had to wait so long. Try waiting a whole draft and then a whole year and then another draft until the fourth round. But then you can say you waited a long time. So
For real.
Weren't you out golfing draft day?
yeah, dude, I was in the car. I was in West Virginia, played a little bit of golf. I was not even paying attention then, sure enough. But yeah, and then now here we are. Where'd you go though? 70th?
81st, I think.
Okay, 81st. Yeah, that's not too bad. But I guess if you were kind of banking on early second round, then yeah. But like San Jose got a steal, so can't complain about that. And you're going.
Well,
to
I have like 2 follow-up questions, but one of them, and Cards, we've heard this a lot on the podcast, including with your own draft, but everyone seems to be getting fed information that they're going way higher than they are, and it never happens. Like we hear it every time. What's with that? What is like? I don't understand.
I have no idea. My buddy had the same thing. Like his agent told him, he goes, "You're gonna be third to fifth round. There's no questions about it. If you slip any later than that, I'll be shocked." He slips to 10 picks left in the draft.
Who's
Like it's
this?
just Joe Verbetis. He got drafted
Oh
the
yeah, he
round.
just and he's good too, man.
Yeah, he's 6'6". Like he's one of those guys where it's like he's a pretty big guy, like has a lot of raw talent, like just like who's gonna take a chance on him kind of thing. Like not seeing him all year. But yeah, like it was just one of those years where I think a lot of like especially this year, I think just a lot of guys just didn't get seen, so they dropped. Um I know that was something that like talking to like a lot of team during interviews and stuff like that, they're always like, we haven't really seen you that much. Like what makes you better than the next guy kind of thing. Um, which is like the hardest question to answer because you just don't want to be that like cocky guy.
Yeah. Just say, look at my game and Barry first game.
Yeah, exactly. So it's something
Oh,
that I like it was hard to answer and you're kind of just sitting there like, I don't know, man. Just please pick me. Like please, I don't want
quickly, so I would just want to hop in on that point too, because like yeah, you see it a lot that way, but sometimes Ross, you see it the other way too. Like we had Delhi on the pod, and like Ty Delandria, for those who don't know, he was ranked like 26th North American by Central Scouting, and he went like 13th overall or something. So like he's probably expecting like maybe late first, probably second, then all of a sudden he's 13th overall. Like, and I feel like it's just like I don't even know, like the information that teams may give out just might just be like, or that it's just not high enough guy up in the ranks to be giving out the information maybe.
Yeah,
Or
people are
that's
just spewing stuff, man. Like you might remember this cards, but I had a text. The same Anaheim scout who was sitting beside me at that game told me they were going to take you in the third round cards. Remember I told you that on your first draft day?
yeah, you're like, yeah, you'll probably go to Anaheim in the third. I'm like, all right, nice.
He told an Anaheim scout who was at all of our games told me they were taking you in the third, and I was shocked. But and then they didn't. No one took you, and I'm hearing third round right out of a scout's mouth.
like when Cardzy went undrafted, that was something like even like not really knowing him too much, but like just knowing what he kind of did in the league and seeing him go undrafted, I think that was something that kind of shocked a lot of us, to be completely honest. But yeah, like even in the OHL draft, there's a lot of that. Like just like, oh, we're gonna take you here, like we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Like when I was at OHS, I got like goalie of the tournament or whatever they call it, the award there, and I went to go, yeah, little break there. I went to go get my award, and I guess the guy worked for London. So I'm shaking this guy's hand. We're taking a picture, and he goes, "If you're still there at 19 tomorrow, we're taking you." And I'm sitting there like, oh, "Okay, I'm going to London." That was my first.
Man, it's actually ridiculous. But dudes, did you like the one thing that I noticed about like San Jose was they like kind of like they were like straight up with me. They're like, yeah, like we should have taken you last year. Like we really like you and stuff. And then obviously it comes true. Like when and that's another thing that Rask. I'm gonna steal your question
Yeah,
here.
go for it.
But like, did you have a lot of talk with them, or like was your talk just really good with them?
Yeah, like I think I might have had like one interview with them. Like it was just one. Like I thought it went pretty well, and they kind of like they talked a little bit about like if like we were to draft you, like what would you be open into like switching this part of your game or like kind of like those kind of questions. And I thought I handled it well and said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Yeah, like I didn't really know that they didn't have like a second round pick, and at the time that's kind of where I expected to go, so I was a little bit worried when I got to draft and I didn't see them there. I was like, oh, okay, it might not like kind of end up there. But then they ended up trading down to get me too. Like they traded their like 71st pick, I think they had, and they traded that down to 81. So I'd be there.
What an honor.
But yeah, so it was something like Cards was kind of saying they were pretty open, honest. Like if they were to draft me, they said they wanted to make changes. They said they wanted to do this and help me out in different ways. And they weren't trying to hide any of that. They said if you're kind of still around in the area that we kind of see you in, we definitely like to take you. And yeah, once they drafted me and I had the FaceTime call, they were pretty happy where they got me, and they seemed kind of like that's exactly where they wanted to take me. So it kind of worked out for both parties, I think. And yeah, like I said before, I don't think it could have went any better.
I'm just curious, like, what kinds of things are they saying they want to change about your game?
More so just like the little like not really change, just kind of like help fix. Like there's something with my stance that I'm trying to give out. I can't be telling Cardzy this because they'll take advantage of me next year or
You
something.
don't want to say it publicly.
Hey, you're good, Goods. We don't play you next year.
Yeah, that's true, eh?
But if you do say it, then I'm gonna start sending it out to every Western Conference team. So
Exactly. So I can't. But just like a little thing, a little secret.
Okay, I like that. We're gonna take it into this recently introduced segment that I came up with last episode that ended up being pretty funny. It's called hard hitting questions. So I'm just gonna like spit a couple good hard hitting questions at you, and we'll see how you answer these. And you could be
and wait,
yeah.
before you take it away, Rask, Goods is another girlfriend guy, so he might have some good answers here.
Okay, love it. Yeah, you can. If you're a funny guy, you can answer them funny. If you're not, then answer them however you want to answer them. But anyway, first question: what is the meaning of true love?
True love. Wow. Yeah, lining with the hard hitting. That's a great one. I don't even know what to say.
All right, send this to his girlfriend.
Yeah, don't be sending this to the girlfriend. Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I gotta go search up on Google here for this one. Maybe caring about someone selflessly, not being selfish, putting them before you. Gee, it's making me sound. I can't be seeing have the boys see this one either.
All right, we'll save it. Well, we'll count that. Save you a little bit more of that. That's hilarious. I love this. This is pretty funny too. What are some deal breakers for you in a relationship?
I think number one off the bat, nice easy one. Cheating. Can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another one. I don't know. I'm pretty chill. Like I'm pretty easygoing. So like, I'm not good with annoying people. Like people that are like late all the time. Like slow. Just not smart. I'm not saying I'm smart. Like I'm pretty stupid. I'm pretty stupid, but like you gotta have some common sense. If you don't, it just annoys me. And I can't.
We can all agree with that one. I think.
Yeah, no, that's a fair assessment. Goods also needs somebody who's gonna be willing to shave his face for him when he's getting a bit grizzled.
With the Joe Thornton, Brent Burns kind of look, Cardzy.
Fair enough. You are going to San Jose here. I wish I could too, but I can only get a little scruff going. So touche on that one.
If a genie granted you 3 wishes right now, what would you wish for?
I think a nice contract from San Jose. Good career. And then maybe like a nice injury-free career too, because like the injuries I've had enough of those as a young one, and I think I'm done with them. So I think those kind of nice.
All right, I love that. And then last one here: do you believe in fate?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think with like especially like with hockey, I think like kind of if you put the work in, I think it'll show up somehow. Whether it's before or after your hockey career, it kind of shows up, I think, with you. I know for me, like I find if I have a good practice, then I start playing good. So I think like my fate is like go play good, have a good practice, you'll have a good game. It'll just kind of work its way out. But yeah, I guess so.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that segment's getting pretty funny, and I think we're going to get some classic answers continuing to come in, but we'll take it away from the hard hitting and send it over to the fan. We obviously got a lot. Rask gave you a nice little bump on the story too, calling you a young stud tendy.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. But first, we always start off with what stick and what specs do you use?
Yeah, so I got right now I'm using the Bauer Hyperlight, P31 curve, 26-inch paddle. They keep sending me the wrong size. Doesn't have too much other than that for goalie stick. But I think during the season this year, we got custom sticks last year, so I think I'm just going to use those ones from last year. So it'll be a ultrasonic stick, again, P31 curve, and then 26-inch paddle.
Okay. And I'm assuming you do. You must. You're a goalie. Pre-game rituals and superstitions.
Not many, honestly.
Really?
I know it
Wow.
sounds weird, goalie. But going into Sarnia, I was so crazy with that stuff that like it would just distract me from hockey almost. So I like dumbed it right down to just like do every like day, like get your balls and throw them off the wall or whatever. Get your like eyes going, do your visual stuff, and that's it. Like don't try to do like left before right or any of that stuff. Don't go to all this like extracurricular because it just mangles my mind before the game.
Yeah, mangle your mind, but definitely throw your balls against the wall. That's good. Where would you dream vacation be?
Ooh, I think Alaska. I'd just be safe to go like hunting and fishing up there. I know.
We both made the
That's-
same face cards.
That's the most northern boy answer I've ever heard of.
Like I'm not good in hot weather. Like I start season up. Like that's like the humidity.
Yeah,
just
San
gets,
Jose is gonna love to hear that, eh?
No, San Jose was good. We went there. It was 25 degrees, like perfect. There was no humidity. It was fine. I could deal with that. The second that humidity kicks in, which is like all those like nice tropical places, I like shut down. Like I can't do it. Like North Bay's been so hot and humid this summer that like there was multiple days where I just sat in my basement and just didn't go outside because it was just like so hot. And like I sunburn like every time the sun touches my skin too. So like I'll go like I went on the boat a few times. Like I try to go out almost every weekend with the guys and throw them around in the tube and just have some fun. And like I would come back every time with red back, like red legs, like just everything was just red. Like I can't do heat, I can't do hot. Body just doesn't like it.
So Goods is a softie. So we'll definitely try to keep it indoors the next few weeks here in San Jose and Arizona for you. But we'll keep going. Funniest prank you've ever seen? Could be in the locker room, on the ice, or something totally different than hockey.
There's a really funny one going on right now in Sarnia. I don't know if it's over. I'm sure the kid won't look at the podcast, so I can kind of spill it a little bit right now. But just like one of our older guys is pranking him a little bit, and it's like I can't go too far into it just because if he does hear it, it'll be completely over, and I will get in so much crap for spilling the beans. This is like it's the funniest thing right now. Like it is like it's beyond like I'll talk to you a little bit about it later, Cardzy. Like you're gonna love it. Like it is so funny and like with like what's happened this week in Sarnia here, it's like it's perfect. But you haven't been too much like I'll be honest, there hasn't been too many pranks. Like there in Sarnia, we've done like the cup in the helmet where you grab your helmet and the cup of water falls on you or whatever. Like shout like the shaving gel in your gloves. Just like the classics. Like we haven't really had too many that have like really gone out there. What's nice about being a goalie is they don't usually screw with you because I think they're gonna like screw you up mentally.
Yeah, you're off the team if you mess with the goalie.
Exactly. Like last year, one of my buddies, like this is when I was like a freak about like I gotta have everything like dialed down. We had those like Gatorade like gummy chews.
Yeah.
And I'd eat like 2 of those before first period, 2 before the second, 2 before the third, and I had to do it. So we run out of them. So I grabbed the last one, and I do my 2, and I'm sitting there like just pulling Burke. He's right beside me. Grabs my gummy chews and takes up like eats one. I've never wanted to punch someone in the face more than that. Sure enough, I go out there, I get yanked like midway through the first.
That might be the dude. The best part is because I know Berkey pretty well. Like I grew up playing against Berkey. I played with him a little bit in Pickering too. And that's the most Berkey thing ever to do. And he probably didn't even mean to. He's just so like out of it. He just did it.
He meant to. I told him, I was like, don't eat my gummies. Like, do not eat my gummies. What does he do? He eats my freaking gummies. Like this guy, nonstop chirping, oh my God. Drives me sometimes.
Yeah, no, he's a mental case. He's always yipping people. It is funny though. But we'll keep it rolling here. I guess you got to watch what you say, but everyone's allowed to have a celebrity crush. So who's yours?
That's a good one. I haven't thought about this in a long time. I'm trying to think of like what I used to say.
That's the safe answer before whatever he says now. You're safe.
Yeah.
No, I don't even know what I used to say. I think I used to say Ariana Grande at the time, but I haven't seen her in so long. I don't even know what she'd look like anymore.
Okay.
I feel like she's kind of fell off. I haven't seen her in a while either.
I feel like she probably has too, because I have not heard a word about her. I can't even think about who's like. Yeah, I'm like so out of the celebrity world right now. I'm not even joking. Like I've been so like when you're in North Bay, you just don't hear anything about celebrities. It's just not a thing in North Bay.
The celebrities
hear
aren't
about,
coming
like,
to
who's
coming to
driving.
battalion games.
Like,
Yeah.
there's not too much going on in North Bay, but I don't even know. That's a really good question. Gotta give me time to sit back and look at this. I'm trying to think of who following on Instagram, so you guys can't pull something up later and be like,
Yeah, that's what we should do, Rask. We'll just funnel through his followers and then or following, and then we'll find one. But no, like up in North Bay, Rask, like if somebody gets a new F-150, they're the celebrity up there. So
Front page, baby.
What's your worst fear as a goalie?
that's a good one. I think just getting like having like some like stud player on like a penalty shot, like to win it all or something. Like last year, my first penalty shot was against like Hamilton, or not penalty shot, like shootout was against Hamilton, and my birthday game too. My family came down. I had like a little fan in the stands too that like I was kind of seeing every once in a while. I'd see him and he'd kind of come up to a few games, so I had a lot of pressure on me, and they saved Arthur Kaliev to like the time like Kaliev's gonna be coming. And he comes down, he tries 5-1. I made a save. I thought I was so sick. I was like, holy smokes, I just saved Kaliev. Like this is like this guy gets drafted the show. I just made a save on him. But that's like when I see a big name guy step up to do a penalty shot or a shootout, it's pretty scary. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, but you also got to think at the same time, if I'm taking a penalty shot on you, I'm thinking the exact same thing though.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, Goods, he's a 3rd round pick as a goalie to the show. Like I'm scared coming in on you. So like I feel like that could go both ways. Like if you have like, say you put up, I don't know, like Brant Clark against you on a penalty shot this year, like even though he's like that sick and you're still thinking that, like guaranteed the player is still thinking that as well. So you have to take that into consideration a bit. Moving ahead here, we'll go last one here. We've been on for a while now, but favorite road rink in the OHL and why? And don't say North Bay.
It's definitely not North Bay. That's probably my least favorite. I'm not even gonna lie. Pretty much like a minor hockey rink when I'm there. I can't stand it. I think Windsor for me, or Windsor or London. Like London's always like one of those sick barns, just fun to go play in because you got 10,000 people there. It's always a great atmosphere, and they're like a pretty big rival for us in Sarnia. So that's always fun. But I played Windsor really well last year. Like I think against Windsor, I had like a 9-4 with like a 2-point-something goals against average. Like I played Windsor really well. So I enjoyed playing them, and again, just another rivalry, and it was fun to play in their rink. And but yeah, I mean, those two rinks are probably like gonna go and play a game, and like they're just always a great atmosphere, especially as a rival, like I was saying. So yeah, those two for sure.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I mean, for fan questions, that kind of does it. Rask, do you have anything else here?
Nah, just appreciate your time, Benny, man. It was fun getting to know you, and I'll see you guys both in San Jose when you make the Sharks this year, and I'm coming down to visit because Cardzy's going to be giving me season tickets, right?
Yeah, that'll be the case. But no, Goods, I just want to say thanks. Obviously, you made it pretty easy to get you on this week and really appreciate it. And I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right. Want to thank Benny for that one. It was a good interview, and it'll be cool for you guys to be boys down there in San Jose where he's going to be in the heat, loving it. So I was actually dying when he said that, and I jump in like, yeah, San Jose is going to love this. But I get what he's saying about the humidity and stuff. But man, yeah, it was a pretty funny interview. Like he seems like a good guy.
Yeah, no, he's a beauty. When I first met him at the airport, like he said, like we didn't know each other really at all, like a few mutual friends and stuff like that. And I mean, that's just because he's like from up north, not around my area and stuff. But like, yeah, beauty, great guy. And obviously a sick goalie. Like I feel like if he played, he could have been a first rounder this year, even like for sure second if he played. But I mean, everything we talk about fate in the episode, and everything does happen for a reason. I think he's gonna definitely play in the NHL at some point. He's such a pro too, and he's big body. Like he has all the tools you look for in a goalie. So it was nice to have him on, catch up with him quickly. And I guess I'll be seeing him tomorrow night, which should be good. And I wanted to mention, have you heard about the Ryder Cup coming up?
I'm pretty out of touch with the golf game.
Okay, so you know what the Ryder Cup is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously Europe versus USA, and yeah, they just go head to head in match play and all sorts of different formats, alternate shot, 4-ball, and then singles matches. And there's other ones too. I'm just forgetting. But since it is coming up here, do you want to make a prediction?
Oh God, I mean, I can attempt, but it's pretty baseless. I don't know much. Can you tell me who's playing for the U.S.?
All the big names, everyone you would know would be on the team. So like
Okay.
all those guys.
All right. Well, I'll predict Bryson absolutely carries, which never happens. So
You think so?
I'm gonna be. I don't. I'm just gonna be bold and say it and hope that it pans out. But like he's so inconsistent. But when he's on, he's on. So like
Okay.
if he's on, then he's gonna carry. So I'll stick with that.
All right. So you say Bryson's gonna carry. I'm just gonna say US is gonna win. Obviously, I'm American, as everyone knows a bit. So I'll definitely ride the US there. I'm looking forward to that. And I don't know, are you a big football guy?
I wouldn't say I'm a big football guy, but I watch it. I like to. I'm turning myself into a Bills guy since I live so close.
Yeah, which is fair. Everyone loves the Bills Mafia. Like I hated the Bills until they like became like pretty good, you know?
Yeah, their
Like,
arena is just like or stadium or whatever. It's like 25 minutes from my house and my apartment in Niagara Falls. So it's like the local team to me.
dude, you could actually go over there for some games then, eh?
Yeah, I will once the border figures out what's going on, right? Because we can't go over there now. But always like the Brock guys always go to games, and I definitely plan on going to a few when I can.
It is so rowdy there too. Like I've never been. I got to go. I've been to Detroit. Why am I blanking out on this? I've been to a few other ones too, but like definitely would love to go to a Bills game just for the atmosphere before the game and stuff. It's just insane. But yeah, no.
Before you finish that, can I drop some knowledge on you and the listeners about me?
Yeah, drop some knowledge.
It's a knowledge, like a fact about me. I own 0.1% of the Green Bay Packers, me personally.
Oh, you are one of those guys. I know a bunch of guys who are like that. So like quickly tell us how it works and how are you not a Packers fan?
So it's like, okay. So, it's like the only publicly traded or not publicly traded, sorry, like publicly owned sports team, I think in all of North America. And I think under 50% of it is just people can buy percentage shares of it. And it was like a 13th birthday gift from my uncle, who's a big Packers fan for me. He got himself one. And like between my family, we own like 0.8% of it. But I'm invited to the annual shareholders meeting. I can vote for like the team events and stuff like that. It's actually kind of cool, and I have it framed in my room and stuff. I'll send you a pic. But and then I do cheer for the Packers because of that, but I like the Bills more just because I can go to games. Like I've never actually been to a Packers game.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the Packers got cleaned up yesterday by the New Orleans Saints. They don't even have Drew Brees and just Jameis Winston, just lighting it up out there. So I think maybe we'll talk about some football at the end of each episode. I mean, it's a different sport. We haven't really covered it at all, but
we also this is what we want to do too. We want to branch we want to explore everything, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I'm a huge Cowboys fan, for those who didn't know. So tough loss on Thursday, but looked like they have a lot of promise against the reigning champs. So that was exciting. And I mean, I think that pretty much does it for us. I mean, we have so many guys at camps right now, NHL camps, guys who have been on the show. So for those guys who are listening right now, best of luck this week and the next few weeks at NHL camps. And for a lot of them, it's their first or maybe second. So looking forward to hear from all the guys about that. And I can kind of relay the message on the pod next week. And I know we got another good guest coming up too. So I'm excited.
Yeah. And I guess I'll let you wrap it up, but on behalf of the whole Showbound community, we all want to wish you good luck at camp, buddy. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Thanks, Rask. And thank you all for that.
Thanks, community.
For that message. Yeah. Thanks, community. But have a great week. If you feel like you want to support the boys and myself, go check out the link to the rookie face-off games in Arizona this week. But I'm looking forward to see Aussie again, who we just recently had on the pod, and Goods, obviously, I'm going to see tomorrow. So yeah, I'm just super excited about getting down there. Hope everyone's having a great week, and we'll be in touch next week, and can't wait to bring something to you guys.